Hi, it's Esther. So for today's video, we're going to be doing another Bible reading from this book. For such a time as this, I love this book. It has beautiful watercolor, and the stories are so inspiring. It's about stories of women from the Bible retold for girls. I'm going to be reading about the story of Anna the lamb. Let's start. The Lamb, the story of Anna. Anna knelt behind the group of people who had come to the temple, her fingers looped together in prayer. She had been doing this every single day since she lost her husband many years ago. She had been married for 7 years when he died, and she had decided that instead of remarrying, she would spend her life completely focused on God. When the sun came up each morning, she was awake and already praying for the day. She made her way into the temple before anyone else was there and settled into her familiar spot. Every day brought her different people and situations to pray about, but underneath all her words was the longing of her heart. More than anything else in the world, Anna wanted to see the promised one before she died. She believed that he was coming, and as the hours of her life ticked past, she wondered if God would grant her request. Many babies were brought into the temple by their mothers to be presented to the Lord. And when this happened, the baby's mother was also supposed to bring a lamb and a pigeon to offer to God. Some of the people who came did not have enough money for a lamb, so they were allowed to bring another pigeon instead. Either way, Anna prayed for each child. It became harder and harder to kneel on the floor as her legs grew weak with age, but she never stopped doing it. Oftentimes she would even refuse to eat because she felt like it distracted her from her prayers. When the moonlight poured into the temple, she would reach for a steady piece of furniture, slowly lifting herself up and walking into the night. Maybe tomorrow, she would think. And when she would finally fall into her bed, closing her eyes to rest, her thoughts would chase the possibility until her dreams brought her to daylight again. Anna knew the only thing that really mattered was the one who was going to make things right for the people of Israel. After all, she believed God was real and that he was going to give them a redeemer. Her ears didn't hear all the sounds they used to, and her eyes couldn't see all that well. Her bones were creaky and tired, and her fingers ached from bending, but she ignored all of it. She heard things from God in ways that most people couldn't. She hurried to get dressed, her wrinkled hands tying her clothes into place while her heart raced. She knew that today might be the day she saw the promised Messiah. As she wrestled the buttons into place, she thought for a moment of the years she had spent waiting, wondering. But she knew it was not in vain. The child was coming. All the years, all the prayer, all the offerings and pleading, it had all been for this moment. She walked quickly, guided by the very presence of God. And when she entered the temple, she heard a familiar voice echoing from the walls. Simeon, a great man of God, had arrived just before her. Standing beside Simeon were a woman and a man, both staring at Simeon as he spoke. And there inside the temple, where she had spent so many days and nights, she finally saw the baby in Simeon's arms. The baby born to save the world. I can die in peace now, said Simeon, his weak arms holding strength. My eyes have seen him. And there beside the altar were 2 pigeons, brought by Mary and Joseph, because they could not afford a lamb. Anna burst into praise and began telling everyone what she had seen. She had waited all this time to see his tiny arms, the tiny arms that would grow to stretch from one side of a cross to another, so that we could be his again. Soon there would be no need for sacrifices at the temple anymore because Jesus himself would be the offering. Mary and Joseph had made their way to Jerusalem with only 2 pigeons, but soon the world would know the truth of Anna's words. The baby in Simeon's arm was the very Lamb of God. From Luke 2. I absolutely love this story of Anna because she never stopped praying no matter what. She was just like a woman of God, and she was faithful and obedient and humble. She's just like such an inspiration to me because of what she did. So I hope this was inspirational to you too as well. The story of Anna, please check it out in Luke 2. Bye.